Hello and welcome. Today is the 9th day of August 2017. My name is Derek and welcome. Let's talk about trading cryptocurrencies, and everything stated in this video is how I look at the market, how I know it as, the mathematics towards it, how I'm playing it, what I'm doing, all that kind of stuff. Whatever you do, whatever decisions you make, it's your own risk, your own reward. And this is a perfect example of a chart that I want to talk about within my favorite strategy in the markets, which is buying low and selling high, and it's so easy to do. And I'm going to talk about it within this chart. It's Legends. It's the #1 gainer right now on Bittrex, and you can see why within this 4-hour time frame. So we're going back to June. So let's just assume within this strategy that you want to buy this code, and how I like to do it is when it goes down, I'm going to be a buyer. When it goes up, I'm going to be a seller. So that's just assuming it's the 4th of July, you want to get into this, and this is just one code you want to play. So an entry position, you got no tokens whatsoever, you got to buy some. That's really nothing else you can do. You want to buy an okay amount, at least that's what I like to do, is I like to buy an okay amount, but I realize I'm going to be wanting to be buying on the way down on every single leg lower. So therefore, let's assume that on that date you bought in at market price at around 7,000 Satoshi or 70,000, whatever, in that area. And then you're like, okay, let's place some buy orders in. If we go below this low, maybe some around here, and then it's really just something like this. Yes, you can use technical analysis, key Fibonacci points, key previous levels for where you were, and you just put in all of your little buy orders. Now you already bought, so you can put sell orders in immediately too. So you put a sell order maybe here, here, and then above as well. So therefore, you're ready to go, and you don't even need to look at this chart really anymore. I mean, you really do to have the best advantage, but you could get away with it because in a situation on, say, when the first buy order would have been executed, we would have seen in here, okay, execution, you buy here. Now, you might have been lucky to sell up here. You probably should have. So therefore, you bought here. You sold back here. So now you got that order execution. You sold at 6,800 and something. Congratulations. And then you're like, okay, well, I've already got a buy order here, so I'm going to pretty much buy it where I sold it before, and you got it, and you put your sell order back in again. And then this buy order comes in, so you're going to put a sell order in. This buy order comes in, so you put another sell order in. This buy order comes in, so you put another sell order in, and this sell order will get executed. So then you're going to put another buy order in again, which would later get executed. This one would get executed, so you can put a buy order in again, and so on and so forth. So you're going to get a whole bunch of buy orders, or whatever. All these remaining buy orders are going to get filled before this bottom. But you could be in a situation where maybe you got your buy order filled. Let's say you're lucky. You got this bottom on this day, but whichever date you hit it, you put your next sell order in, maybe somewhere up there. And then next thing you know, you log on to the computer right before this happens. You look at your orders, no new orders for this code. You don't even think anything of it. And then next thing you know, you come in and it's right in here and you look sell order, sell order, sell order, sell order, sell order like crazy. And this will happen at times. But for both the sell orders and buy orders, when these markets go hog wild. And you're in an environment within these markets when they go hog wild on several different occasions. And I'm using, of course, this code, which is Legends. And I'm not really talking about it for too much for how to trade it. But since there's an interesting move, I will talk about, okay, you're in a situation where you're looking for codes for the day that could be very volatile. And codes that have amazing high up or down moves are the ones that are going to have higher intraday volatility and volume than you would normally have, which is something that I would be looking for when I'm looking to buy and sell something several times in a day, or just even for one position to get 15, 20, or whatever a decent percent move in just a few hours if possible. And these are the codes that can do it. So let's shorten this out. We really don't need to see anything before here. As far as any type of key support, we can just look at it in here. There really doesn't seem to be too much. So we're just going to rely everything from within this rally and look at this on an extremely short-term level. And within this 15-minute time frame, I don't want to be a buyer really, because we're in a situation within a move that has fallen down to the 6,000 mark, or 60,000 rather, which is a good 5,000. Like, this is where the key Fibonacci point happened to be. So it came back down to a key area, not really overriding, but it's an area where if you had a buy order ready at 55-ish area, it obviously didn't work. You didn't have as big of an original decent correction. Now then you have this rally that comes into place, and it makes a lower high back down again to where it came from. Is it making another lower high? There's, again, no reason for me to want to be a buyer when I've seen so many codes go way up and then way down after that again. As far as Fibonacci, it didn't work too well on the 55. I wouldn't be a buyer here because it's only a small little like one floor rectangle in here. That's not much of a drop if the 60 level is not going to hold. Then that brings into the 40 level, which works probably, if you're looking to buy cheap, and I'm not going to do it. It's too risky for me. I would consider if I have to pick one spot I think is the best buy order, I'm thinking 44. Which is this support, this resistance, and it's about 5,000 points above this number, which is what the trend was on the 6,000 number. All right, then, we got 7 minutes and change. Let's put a couple other codes in and talk about some other cryptos. This is ZCL, not Zcoin, but Z Classic, or Z Classic. I'm Canadian, as if it matters. And why they don't use the same letter state of saying it, I've never figured out. All right, then. This is an interesting pattern that I'm looking at, as you've had a great breakout from this point, breaking a significant leg past this resistance. We'll look at other time frames, but what I want to point out is situations where you have a big rise and you have its very first sell-off. Oftentimes what I've noticed these things do is you're always going to get decent corrections after a breakout, especially on light volume, which has been the case in here. The reason why it's light volume is because after all of these sell orders were executed, that means a whole bunch of new buy orders that never did exist before in here get added. And because of such, people are looking to profit take, people who bought back in here, or people who were down before who refused to sell at that point, wanting to sell higher. Well, those are the type of people that are going to sell that market because there's only a limited amount of bid offers. Everyone who bought in here via people selling to them were new added buy orders after, of course, the break. And what I often see in rallies is you get that first sell-off, and whether it's going to be bullish or not, you're going to at least make a noticeable rally that would, of course, get above the 18 average of highs. Whether it would get up to this area here and then roll over, whether it would make new higher highs after that, that's later to be determined. But you're at a mathematical stage where if you can buy at 47 and even sell at 52, well, now you're looking for a 10% gain on the play. So if you're looking for stuff to day trade, and we're looking at the 15-minute time frame, so this is totally a day trading situation, you're looking at different codes with major up moves or down moves because they're going to give you higher volume and higher volatility than a normal session would bring you. So that is one example. Let's look at this on a more longer term time frame. And within the 4 hour, we're seeing something that has been just getting crushed, making many decent rally attempts that sell off quickly. So this is what we're seeing is a rally attempt. It's already sold off a decent amount, but whenever you have a big rally, the key thing is make the higher low, retest the level. There's the, well, it obviously fell below that one. Then a good rally attempt up here. So you definitely want to hold previous level, which it did. And then you have a good rally attempt here, and you pretty much want to hold this area. Didn't, but hey, it came back and matched that level. You definitely want to make a higher low. Good job in here. Oh, well, lower high, but we can see within this small rally, a bear market would continue. And then from this rally, harsh sell-off to the low, and a magnificent one. But in your situation after this rally in here, you give it all back, and this is after the whole fork issue. So this is when the entire alternate markets were going down, and this you can say is excusable because everything was getting sold on the altcoin situation. But after the big rally that occurred right before the 7th, you really wanted to see this level hold. Now, a lot of times when I say it's bearish and bullish to buy and sell at different points, this is exactly what I mean. Because as long as you could get this sell order in, and you know what, that you have to get it. If you bought here and tried to sell in here, you didn't get it. But I say it because if it's gonna go down, you're probably gonna hit previous resistance, have some sort of bounce, and then later break through it. But now since this rally has shape and form, you're in that situation again, like I was stating on the 15-minute time frame, where it would both be bullish and bearish for a small little rally to take place. I'll go back to the 15-minute time frame in a bit, but I'll show you another more longer term chart. We'll go to the daily chart. And when we see something like this, and I mean, there's a reason I'm showing this chart. These are subjects I want to go over. There's a lot to be stated in here. I think the obvious one is what the heck happened here. If you had insane buy orders in, oh yeah, I'm just going to fool around and put an order in for, like, say, I don't know, 3,500. Say in here. And then next thing you know, the price is like insane buy orders. It's literally like playing a lottery ticket. Yes, you can play it like poker or any other type of skill-based game where you're hard to win, but you increase the probabilities of such. But I mean, you're usually never going to hit them, but if you happen to have it in, and you know what, maybe you just thought this was an amazing, insane level, and it still would have worked. Okay, so you have a buy order here. You wish it would have been way lower, but you notice that you bought in, and the price is already tripled from where you bought it when you see later that day or the next day. So it's definitely something to consider. There's nothing wrong with just putting insane orders for 70, 80, 90+% off, as oftentimes if it happens in that case, you're going to get something like this where somebody just decided to sell a whole whack and at an insane price. Don't know why anyone would do that. Inexperience, they don't care, I don't know. But that's what happens when those situations come in. Other things within this chart. We can see that early at the start of this, it went straight down like a waterfall. And you want to see what happened beforehand. So I'm going to have to take a look to see, because if you're just looking at this, you want to know what was before then. You know for sure that this was a decent rally that basically just went down. Now, I don't know if this was a situation where this coin was removed on another exchange like Poloniex. That could be a reason for such a sharp decline. But even though this insane order worked, something happened to get to that point, because this is what a stock market for the day usually looks like, where you close here and you gap here. How does that even happen? I know in the stock market, they close the market for you, and then they open it many hours later, and a whole bunch of stuff already happened, and every market's going to gap up or down in wild maneuvers. I'll show you one quick example. This is the Google chart, GOOG. And just do this stuff. You can find so many different situations where, like, in here you close it and then you gap down right here. How you doing kind of deal. Yeah, the market closes, whatever. But with this one here on the ZCL, that's just like the 1 day. So I have no idea why the code looks like that. But every other day doesn't have any of those weird situations because the markets don't close in crypto land. Okay. Other things to look at within this chart, since this has been making several lower highs, so when you're going on any type of long position, you realize that this thing is in a bear market. It's also at an area where it's had a lot of support at this point, that if this area gives in, you could have some significant down moves. But breaking past this point, well, now you can revert to change the trend, and we can see just before in 2016, you get above here, huge move higher, breaking the band in here, huge move, breaking it every single time. This code has left the 18 average of highs. It's had decent moves to the upside. It hasn't happened too often, but during these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times that's been the case. So don't be surprised that when this gets going, whether it's now or some legs lower, that you have some decent bull markets. If you know this strategy coming in, one strategy to ensure good gains is to make sure your sell orders are several basis points higher than the 18 average of highs. So therefore, you might not want to sell here, but maybe start selling in this area here and even a little bit higher. But if you sell a little bit more than that, then, well, that's like having a sell order here or having a sell order here and here kind of deal. So now what happened before here? So you want to take a look at that. We'll try to expand it a little further, see what else there is. There isn't anything more. So when it started, at least on this exchange, it went for a straight downfall, free fall, and furthermore, within this support, it matches within here. So it's very much a long-term level. Now, mathematically speaking, where would I want to put a buy order in? Probably down towards the previous low and at around 500 to 1,000. That's just me, though. All right, then. I'm going to end this video. I really want to talk about different, not really codes of these in general because of what they're doing, but different areas that can work with so many different codes. Different situations more than anything is really what I wanted to discuss. So I hope you found this informative, educational, all that kind of stuff. Anything you do is based on your own risk, own reward. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day.